So now what we're going to do here is think of one person and maybe one or two things that you have done to that person to harm them. Visualize that person in front of you. And then when you breathe in the harm you caused. Maybe it was anger and they felt hurt, there was pain. Maybe there was something physical involved, more than just words. So think about that, and then in the form of black smoke, bring that out of that person, and then you breathe it into your lungs, and it disappears into emptiness. And then when you exhale, in the form of white light, it goes to that person, soaks into them, and it takes with it the remedy or the antidote to the harm you caused. If you cause them pain, give them comfort, give them healing, give them a feeling of security, freedom of feeling attacked by you, and so forth, whatever it is. And so just keep that exchange up going with that person, where you are trying to remove the suffering that you caused and bring them peace and happiness. We'll start out with some shamatha first, like we did yesterday, and then I will do a little bit of guided meditation to begin. visualize a person in front of you who you have hurt. And again, think of the hurt that you caused. And when you inhale, you are sucking that hurt, that pain, that action out of them in the form of black smoke. And it's coming to you. You inhale it, and it comes down into your lungs and then dissolves into emptiness. And then when you exhale, you are exhaling the remedy for that. Essentially, it's love and compassion. You are sending that person healing, perhaps comfort, feeling secure and free from attack, and peace and so forth. And it's going in the form of white light and then soaking into that person like sunlight. And then quickly you are back to inhaling again and repeat the process. So we'll do that for a few minutes. resume shamatha. I want to say just a few things and then I'll open it up to discussion. The first is about that episode that I had with a guard. The next time I saw him, I apologized profusely. And when you do things like that, apologies are really wonderful because they're humbling. And humility is a quality. And when you find that you have done something that embarrasses you, that too, and when I say embarrasses you, it really is embarrassing your ego. Because it doesn't have a whole lot to do with your Buddha nature. That too is humbling. And that's very good. Because humility is a quality. Now, when that episode happened of me yelling at the guard, I investigated it. When you have these emotional blow-ups, it's always good to look into the mirror and see what's going on here. And this is what I discovered. Well, my mother would listen to all my phone calls. In prison, they listened to all your phone calls. Any mail that was delivered to the house, it would be opened. They do the same thing in prison. I would stay in my room because if I wasn't in my room, I was more likely to meet my mother, and then all hell could break loose. But In prison, they do rounds. They have to check the bed check, kind of. And so at any moment, Mom could come through that door and all hell could break loose. So she would do her rounds when I was home. And it was really like being in a prison in many ways. And so I was just, what I found was the reason I blew up was because of these habitual patterns and fear that I had been holding on to since a child. And it was kind of an aha moment for me, realizing that I still had some more work to do. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, these things are teaching moments. They're moments when we can really learn about ourselves and where we need to do work on. And it's so important to realize that we are workable. Our minds are workable. Our minds are constantly changing. Our circumstances are constantly changing. And the problem is we don't want to change. We want things to stay the same.